everyone. My name is Lauren Dean. I am the VP of Strategic Growth here at Stagwell. We are on the CES floor. There's a lot happening here, and I'm welcomed by Nadia Hansen, who is the Digital Transformation Executive at Salesforce. Thank you so much for being here. We actually just came from a great breakfast together where we were talking about 10 trends not named AI, which turned out to be a lot of AI. So we've got a lot of fun topics to cover. So thank you again for being here. You've got a really interesting background, formerly being the CIO of Clark County, so you're right at home. Would love to hear a little bit more about your background and your current role at Salesforce.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. This is my hometown. I've been here for 25 years. I had the privilege of serving as the Chief Information Officer for Clark County, which a lot of people don't know. That's Las Vegas, Nevada. So I had the privilege of serving 10,000 employees, 38 departments, a budget of $8 billion and 40 million tourists that roll into our city. CES happens to be one of the big, great events, so happy to participate in it. So I call myself a serial public servant. I've been in public service for 15 years. I served for Clark County. I did some consulting. So I've just been in the public sector space for the longest time. And it has to be probably one of the most fulfilling and challenging careers of my time. And that's kind of what evolved me and attracted me to Salesforce, because Salesforce's public sector arm is really all about easy, intuitive customer experiences. And those customers could be constituents, it could be citizens, it could be residents, it could be visitors. And so it's kind of really, how do we streamline, how do our citizens engage with government? One of the things that we talked about in the last session was, how do we attract talent, or how do we attract people to engage with government more efficiently? And when we're serving 5 different generations, like we have the baby boomers and the traditionalists and the millennials and the Gen Xers and the Gen Zs, how we attract and speak and have communications around that is a completely different way. So you can't have one size fits all. And I feel like sometimes government just allows maybe 1 or 2 ways, not an omni-channel approach.
Right.
And things are moving so fast, especially with the GPT era.
Yes.
It's hard to not talk about AI.
Yes.
Because that really dominates a lot of the conversation. So my role at Salesforce really is helping governments reimagine services. I do a lot of work in the US and Canada, a little bit international as well. So I get to see different perspectives and how are people addressing how to just make these services easy and accessible in an intuitive way.
Awesome. Yeah, it was really interesting how we were talking about the different generations. And I think you mentioned that typically it was the baby boomers that have been targeting, and it's like, how can you start engaging with the younger generations? And so, now we're at CES, like what opportunities do you think for state and local governments are going to be the biggest ones as you think about technology moving into this year?
If I kind of try to do the art of the possible, so a lot has to do with automation. We live in an era of scarcity. So whether that's scarcity around people, scarcity of budgets, scarcity of time, in essence. So how can we automate some of the repetitive, mundane tasks that happen on a day-to-day basis as a very basic use case? We don't have to get fancy, because I served in government. We have a lot of either security, privacy laws, justice, public safety regulations. It's really important to maybe start small and iterate, try it, and more importantly, enable your teams, because you really have to bring the people with you and really serve as part of serving an organization or any governmental entity, or even on the private side of the house. You are trying to engage and co-create with the people you're going to be serving. So one of the big takeaways, I think, from the last session, which I loved, was around, don't try to build in silo, build for the people who are going to be using that experience that you're creating. So I feel like that's kind of what I see government shifting towards. Everybody is really talking about more of a streamlined digital front door to services, where I don't have to know what department do I need to go to.
Right.
I don't need to know where do I go to pay my property tax. I just want to pay it. So some of the basic day-to-day life functions and making them easier and streamlined, that's something I thrive and I love, and we have a fantastic team to help with that.
Awesome. And yeah, I guess the citizen is the ultimate customer experience when you think about how you're going to engage with them.
Exactly.
Make sure it's personalized and targeted to what they need. And I guess as you're thinking about, these different strategies and targeting citizens, like how is Salesforce already leveraging AI to help with local and state government? So I've gone to AI already. We had a few questions first, but I'd be really curious to see how you're using AI or even machine learning or other ways to sort of automate and make sure that you're obviously reaching a large volume of citizens, but also making sure that that experience feels very personal to them.
Yeah, so AI is being leveraged in every product. We have so many different suite of products, but really it's trying to build proactive communications, ways to make basic things easier. So whether that's maybe email summaries, maybe it's generating in government, not traditionally a campaign, but essentially how do you reach and be proactive with your citizens? So we've kind of built that as part of our AI, data, and our constituent relationship management platform. I would like to just say one thing, like everybody's looking into generative AI, but predictive analysis, which is also a form of artificial intelligence, has been available for 10 years.
Exactly.
So why don't we start with something that we feel comfortable with, and maybe that's predictive analysis, to see who is coming and visiting me often, who has the same question, comment, complaint, concern that they're coming to me for, and how can we just synthesize that to provide them with a 360 view of what they're looking for. And that goes for the employees, that goes for residents, that goes for citizens, whoever's touching the organization. I mean, I love CES. So when you think about it, yes, you're attending a conference, but the experience starts when you land in Vegas.
Yes.
All the way from the airport to getting an Uber, to getting to your hotel, to checking in, to showing up today. How long does it take? So everything around that is capturing the data and making data useful and insightful and providing it in an easy way where anybody is able to access it and understand it. That's really what we do. So, and I'm just really happy to be part of it, because we can provide these insights where a lot of different organizations, especially in government, don't have the talent built up or upskilled yet to do that.
Amazing. And you're so right, like a lot of this technology has been around. So, in the ChatGPT era, it's kind of come into consumers' hands now. But, Salesforce has been innovating in this space for a long time. And helping those government organizations. And then final question, any big predictions for this year that you're seeing or you're excited to see, at the trade show? Would love your insights into 2024.
I definitely say any kind of voice search is huge right now. Conversational AI, building that nuance, building the tone of the brand. So whether you work for government or not, is just essentially making technology so real that it actually becomes helpful. So one of the things that I love about GPTs is, yes, it summarizes and gives you in a split second instant gratification. But at the same time, the future is going to be more about how can I get instant gratification in my voice or in your voice, or how I speak, and kind of deriving that, whether it's for municipalities, bigger governments, federal agencies, really interacting with our customers in a way that we would normally, human to human.
Yeah.
Not replacing humans, but really putting another layer on it in terms of an enhancement, an augmentation, essentially.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Nadia, for joining me. I hope you have a great week. And
thank you.
Yeah, looking forward to connecting.
Yes.
Thanks, everyone.